Yes, hope you're well. So another YouTube back. As you see, we're going to be documenting a professional video and then a self-film vlog like you've got now. I'll be starting a 10-week prep series from a coach and lifestyle perspective, which I'll take you along. So here's our sort of in-depth educational series, and I'm going to be going off a laptop because I'm not trying to memorize what I'm trying to talk about, especially in this video. So I wanted to actually talk about the cost of a bodybuilding show and a professional photo shoot. So a lot of people want to get into the industry, they're inspired by either their favorite influencers or fit influencers, whatever you want to call it, or they're inspired by bodybuilders, and naturally we get inquiries and people want to navigate into that space, if that makes sense. And they say, oh Jace, I want to do a show, I want to do a shoot. So why not understand the actual cost of a professional shoot and the cost to actually enter and get ready for a bodybuilding show? Obviously, naturally, the figures may be skewed because there's always going to be a cheaper option, there's always going to be a more expensive option. So my goal is to break this down in the best possible way I can to make it a bit understandable for yourself as a viewer and give you an insight of what's actually needed. So when we look at photographers, we look at, Bailey Image, Simon Howard, some of the best in the industry, Toby Harrison. Toby Richards, my pal. And the sort of quality in images they print out pretty much, it's like that cover model look. So I want to break down, if I was coming in the industry and I didn't have a clue and I said, Jace, how much is the cost of a shoot? I'm going to break that down. How much is the cost of a show? So when we look at a leading industry photographer, that can vary on average, between £400 to £600 for a session. And that's not even one day, that's half a day's work, 4 hours most likely, if that. So that can range from £400 to £600. Of course, you can get cheaper, but you pay for quality. Do you know what I mean? You get what you pay for. So if we're looking at Bailey, Simon, we're looking at sort of the £400 to £600 range. And again, I've done shoots in Dubai, my next shoot's in Dubai, and that can vary when you start to factor in the cost of travel, hotels and stuff like that. But in the UK, we're talking £400 to £600 with edits. Typically, you'll get 5 to 10 edits, and then there is a surcharge, an additional cost if you want additional images edited as well, which I'm not sure the cost. I think it's like, it could be an X amount per photo or X amount for 5. So when we're looking at that, on the lower scale, I'm probably saying 350, 400. On the upper scale, I'm saying 600 there. Prep coach, typically in the UK, I would say the top leading prep coaches charge between, I would say a standard prep coach would charge between 150 to 350. That is what I see in the industry across the board, from the leading prep coaches and the top 10 in the industry and stuff like that, to sort of entry level prep coaches between that 150 to 350 mark. So when we're looking at that, that's per month. So we're looking at that over, most likely, most people, a 16-week prep, which is 4 months. So again, you could be looking at £600 just for the prep. You could be looking at 350 times 4 just for the prep, which is then 1,400. So there's a big cost in that. And obviously, naturally, if you're doing a big outlay for a shoot, you're going to want to hire one of the best coaches in the country, or a coach with credibility and a lot of results, because again, you don't want to turn up to that shoot and not look your best. That is the last thing you want to do. So that's obviously a cost there. So when we're looking at that, we're looking at 1,400 for a prep, potentially at the highest cost, or we're looking at 600 for a prep at the lowest cost, with 400 for a shoot at the lowest cost. So that's £1,000 off the bat, or it is £2,000 off the bat. So you can see very quickly it is a costly endeavor. But if you flip that on the head, if you're in a dietary phase with a coach, your social life's going to change. You're probably not going to be out on the piss. You're probably going to have less social meals. So that money you save day to day, you're investing within yourself and within that future that you're trying to build for yourself, whether it's physique development or a coaching brand. We then look at, some clients like to get a potential spray tan for the shoot if you're of the fairer skin tone. I've done a spray for a shoot. I don't really like it personally. I think it's a bit of an artificial look. I think just do a few sunbeds a couple of weeks before, but that can range from £50 to £75. So again, that's an additional cost. And a lot of people now, if they're doing a shoot, they want to document it and get more than just the images. So they're probably going to take a videographer for the day, which is probably, industry standards. I think day rates can go from 250 to 400 to 500 even, I've been quoted. But we're probably looking, let's say, ballpark figure of 300. So we're now looking at near the 1,500 mark, and near the 2K plus mark, the 2.5K plus mark. So I wanted to break this down because someone actually asked me this week. So the cost of a professional shoot, I would say off the bat, coach, tan, videographer for the day and stuff like that. And this is without your wardrobe, because if you do a shoot, you're going to have one outfit, two outfit, three outfits, and you're going to have multiple outfits that you want to change into as well. So, you know, I would say off the bat with the coach and the whole process, I would say you're looking at £1,500 to £2,500, depending on the quality of coach, the quality of videographer, the quality of photographer, depending on how much you're willing to spend. So that is the realistic cost, in my opinion, if you want to do a professional shoot. It's different. You can get your mate, get a cam, do shots, dye it yourself. Of course, you can do everything on a cheaper scale. But I'm just talking to guys and girls from a perspective of a professional shoot. We've then got show cost, which is significantly more, especially if you're a female, unfortunately, because again, let's just break it down. Female bikinis. God damn. We're now looking at female bikinis, if I'm correct, can range from, you can hire bikinis for the day, so you can rent a bikini for your show day, which I think is a great service because everyone's in different financial situations. And again, prep can get costly. And if you're not going to be a serial competitor, you're just testing the waters, it might make sense. But bikinis can range from 300 to 800 plus. I've seen bikinis for 900, £1,000, you know, bespoke diamond bikini. So we're looking at £400 to £800 off the bat, just if you're a female. Whereas unfortunately for females, for men, show day shorts can vary from 40 to 60 quid. So there's a big difference there. And then if we're a female, we're now looking at show day jewelry, which has another cost to it as well. We're now looking at hair and makeup. Again, it has another cost to it as well. You know, the last show I was at in America, the hair and makeup was £200. So we're now looking at that cost for just being a female. Sexist, I know. Unfair, I know. And then for males, bodybuilders, you're looking at trunks 40 to 60 quid. So just off a female perspective of bikini, hair and makeup, we're probably looking at a cheaper scale, 600. At an average price scale, we're looking at 1,200 just on the bikini, just on the hair, just on the makeup. It's a lot of dough, yeah? And then from the males, obviously, we're looking at the shorts and trunks for around 40 to 60 quid. Show tans vary on federations and popularity of federations between 75 and 200 quid. I've been at shows overseas where they're 300 quid. So that's a big variance as well. Registration, again, it can vary between 50 quid, and then class registrations can vary. That's federation registrations. And then class registrations can vary £100 a class, £50 a class, depending on your desired federation. So as a ballpark figure, registration and show registration, we're talking £200. Some feds you can do multiple classes, but that comes with a cost. So let's say show reg is £200 at a peak, tan's £200 at a peak. And then we've got prep coaches, like I said, could vary between, for example, 150 and 350 is the brackets I see in the industry. Say, for example, for 16 weeks, if it's your first prep, I would probably prep someone for 18 weeks. So we're looking at that from the cheapest scale at between 600 and 750. And the most expensive scale, we're looking at 1,400 to 1,700. So we're looking at the cost now already of the registration, the tan, the shorts, or if you're a female, the bikini, the jewelry, the hair, and the cost of the prep coach. And then obviously, say, for example, I'm a London guy, I'm competing in Derby, I need a hotel pre-show. Unfortunately, sometimes they tan you the night before the show, so that means you're forced into getting, not by them, but you're forced into making it more effective for yourself and getting a hotel the night before, which can range from 75 to 150. Again, there's another increased cost. Nowadays, social media is everything. People are documenting their road to stage or that day, so they've got more than just the stage images. That videographer, I said, can vary between 250 and 450. It depends on what you want. And then again, you do your show, great, amazing. Oh, I want to show my family the stage images. We're now looking at 60 to 80 quid imagery. A lot of feds do give out free imagery, but people do want their personalized show day images as well. So I would personally be saying for a show prep inclusive of a coach on the cheapest scale, as a male, is probably 1,200 quid. But as a female, obviously we now need to incur that bikini, which we're looking, and tan, we're probably looking at £2,000 at a minimum. And for males at a peak, we're probably looking at £2,400. As females, again, added that occurred cost of a bikini, which is £1,000. So looking, at £3,400, which is a lot. So I always say to clients, like, and people and friends, this ain't just about clients. If you are going to do a show, and you are going to spend this cost, stick to your diet, because it's a lot to commit to something if you're not going to do it. But naturally, I know myself, when I diet, when I used to compete, when I do shoots as I do now, is that money that I'm investing in that shoot, I will save that along the way just by dieting, because I'm not going out for lunch with my missus on a random Tuesday. I'm not going out for that big off plan on the weekend. I don't drink, but for example, I'm not going out for drinks with the lads on a Sunday. I'm not going out to the boxing because I'm on a diet restriction. So I actually save that money in the process. That's hypothetically, because I don't drink or go out with the lads. But so yeah, the cost for a professional shoot from start to finish is between 1,500 and 2,000. Obviously, them figures can be skewed. And the cost of a show, I would say, is between 1,200 and 2,400, depending on the quality of things you get. And if you're a female, unfortunately, that's going into the 2,500 to 3K mark. So I hope this video helped. The next video that will probably be up will be a video of me, shoot prep, behind the scenes, taking you to a photo shoot prep as well.